first thing I want to do when I get home from school is head straight for the observatory at the top of Beacon Hill. I've got to find Professor Forster and tell her what's happening to me. If this golden spiral on my phone is some kind of alien message that I've downloaded from the Hubble Space Telescope, then she'll know what to do. But when I open the back door, I see Hayley sitting at the kitchen table with Grandad, and I remember that it's time for our weekly video conference with Dad. Hayley Collins was the first British astronaut to walk in outer space. 10 years ago, she was on the International Space Station just like Dad is now. She took part in a two-person EVA. That's an extravehicular activity, or spacewalk for short, to repair a solar panel that had been damaged by a micrometeorite strike. Hayley is our family escort. This means that while Dad is in space, she's the person who helps to look after Mum, Charlie and me, keeping us up to speed with everything that's happening with Dad's mission. Hayley makes sure that all our communications with the ISS, like our weekly video conference, run smoothly. If there's any problem that needs sorting, she's the person who can call Mission Control and put us straight through to Dad. Sometimes it can get a bit scary, worrying about all the things that could go wrong while Dad's up there in space. But Hayley's always great at keeping us calm. One of the first times we talked to Dad on the ISS via video link, Charlie suddenly started shrieking as the face of a giant ant filled the screen. This was really a normal-sized ant that had escaped from one of the experiments on board the space station. It just looked huge as it floated in front of the camera lens. Dad had to quietly abort the video call so he could capture the ant. But when the screen went black, Charlie just kept on screaming. She was convinced that the International Space Station had been invaded by giant alien bugs and that Dad was going to be eaten alive. Me and Mum tried to explain about the ant experiment, but Charlie wouldn't listen to anything we said. Only Hayley could get her to calm down by saying that the ISS had a space bug zapper installed that splattered any alien invaders as soon as they appeared. Charlie stopped crying then, and when Dad reappeared on the screen 10 minutes later, my little sister just wanted to show her all the zapped aliens. Me and Mum had been too busy trying to make Charlie understand, while Hayley just focused on stopping my sister from worrying. Hayley says that's what astronauts do, solve the problem in front of them. "Hi, Jamie," Hayley says, putting down her mug of tea to greet me with a smile. "Ready to talk to your Dad?" This is our last family video call before Dad's spacewalk. When he comes home next week, we won't need a family escort anymore. I think I'm going to miss her. "Is this the last time you're coming to see us?" I ask. "No, silly," Hayley grins. "I'll be back on Friday for your Dad's spacewalk. We'll watch the Light Swarm launch together. Mission Control have arranged for a live link with your Dad's helmet cam. You'll get to see an astronaut's view of the EVA. She can't hide her own excitement. I wouldn't miss it for the world." At the mention of Dad's spacewalk, my stomach does a somersault for a second. I think it's just nerves about Dad's mission, but then it gurgles again. I really need to go to the toilet. "Well, if you're all off to speak to Dan Dare," Grandad says, getting up from the table with a groan, "I'm going out to the barn to give my drum kit a good thrashing. That blinking nurse didn't say anything to me about not playing the drums." So while Grandad heads to the barn to vent his frustration and Hayley phones Mission Control, I make a dash for the bathroom. I'm just zipping my trousers back up when I hear a buzzing sound above the noise of the toilet flush. I pull my mobile out of my pocket. In the centre of the home screen, the golden spiral is still spinning, the icon looking even larger than it did last time. The phone vibrates again in the palm of my hand, and I feel the tingling sensation that I felt behind my eyes just before things got really strange at school. I still don't know how that weird alien picture got onto my sheet of paper. I don't remember drawing anything. And even if I did, there's no way I could have made an amazing picture like that. I usually can't even draw Stickman without a mistake. But that extraterrestrial landscape almost looked like a photograph. My finger hovers over the golden spiral, wishing I could just click to unlock this mystery. "What are you?" I murmur, trying to make sense of it all. The mobile vibrates again, sending a strange tingle up my arm. As the toilet flush finally gurgles into silence, all I can hear is a constant hum that seems to be coming from my phone. Then, through the drone, I hear the sound of a voice crackling from the speaker. We are buzz. We are buzz. I stare at my phone open-mouthed. Hello? I say, holding the phone close to my ear. Who's there? There's no reply. My mobile had stopped vibrating now, and the only buzzing sound that I could hear is coming from a wasp that's just flown in through the bathroom window. Maybe I just imagined that voice. We are the buzz. I nearly dropped the phone down the toilet. Who are you? I'm so shocked that I can't stop myself from blurting out the answer. I'm Jamie, I stutter. Help. Buzz. The voice coming from the speaker doesn't sound like a person. It's more robotic, like one of those phone calls you get when someone sends a text message to your home phone instead of to your mobile. If this is a message from outer space, then maybe Buzz here is leaving a voicemail. But before I can listen to the rest of it, the bathroom door handle rattles, followed by a sound of Charlie's voice outside. Jamie, come quick, she squeals. Daddy's on the TV. I'll be right there, I shout. Switching my phone into silent mode, I quickly shove it back into my pocket. If I've really downloaded some kind of intergalactic distress signal, then my spaceman dad will know what to do. Squeezed next to Mum and Charlie on the sofa, I stare at Dad's face on our brand new TV. This one fixed higher up on the wall so Grandad can't pull it down. Behind Dad, I see a tangle of wires and cables snaking around the interior of the International Space Station. Back here on Earth, Hayley is sitting in the armchair next to the living room door, out of sight of the video camera, but still close by in case anything goes wrong with the connection. Hey guys, Dad says, his face breaking into a smile. How are you doing? Because of the satellite relay, there's always a 2-second delay between the moment Dad speaks and when we hear him. At first, this made our video calls a bit of a nightmare, as Charlie kept getting upset when Dad didn't seem to be listening to her straight away. But we've worked out a system now. Charlie talks first, so she can tell Dad her news, while Mum and me wait for our turn. So while Charlie starts telling Dad about how she fed the bunnies at nursery school today, I think about what has just happened on my phone. Professor Forster said that only extraterrestrial signal the human race has ever received was a 72-second beacon beamed from the stars. On Friday, Dad's sending a swarm of space probes to Tau Ceti, one of our nearest stars, but they'll still take 15 years to get there, travelling at nearly light speed. And any information they beam back will take another 15 years to reach Earth. So if Buzz is a message sent from another alien planet, how come it's talking back to me? On the rug in front of the TV, Charlie's showing Dad how she's learned to do a cartwheel. Collapsing in a giggling heap on the floor, she squeals with delight as Dad demonstrates a space somersault, his head disappearing backwards as his knees and legs fill the screen before flipping right round again. Again! Charlie squeals, still giggling uncontrollably. Then she stops and turns towards Mum with a worried look on her face. I think I've done a wee. I just have to get her a change of clothes, Dan, Mum says as Dad raises a guilty hand in apology. Why don't you have a chat with Jamie? On the TV screen, I watch as Dad plucks a floating pen out of air. Oops, pen overboard, he says. One of the hazards of space gymnastics. He tucks this back into his top pocket and then nods his head as if hearing Mum's reply. So, how are things with you, son? I don't know what to say. From the hallway, I can still hear Charlie complaining as Mum leads her up the stairs. The silence lengthens into 6, 7, 8 seconds. My brain's still trying to find the right words. Are you still receiving me? Dad asks, leaning towards the camera with a phone. We're still receiving you, Dad. Dan, Hayley calls out brightly from the other side of the room. Jamie's just having a bit of a think. She gets up out of her chair. I'll just go and give your mum a hand with Charlie, she says, moving towards the door. Giving you and your dad some space to talk. Is everything okay? Dad asks, his voice overlapping with the end of Hayley's sentence as she heads out of the room. I watch him bob in microgravity, his face still creased in concern. Dad, I say, I think I've got aliens on my phone. There's a pause as my words zoom 400 kilometres up into space. Then Dad laughs out loud. Good one, Jamie, he says with a grin. Is this some new game you've got then? I thought Mum wasn't too keen on you downloading things to your phone. No, Dad. I try to explain, struggling to put it all into words. I think it's a real alien message. You see, I downloaded it from the Hubble Space Telescope. At first, I thought it was some kind of computer virus, as it kept on buzzing all the time. But then I tried to turn it with my finger into a torch. All these really weird things have happened at school, and now it's starting to talk to me. It says it's named Buzz. I think... Whoa, Dad says, the echo of his voice cutting across mine. Slow down, Jamie. You're not making any sense. I pause to catch my breath. It's weird. Dad might be the one who's weightless, but I kind of feel lighter too now that I've told him everything. Dad always said I can tell him everything. Any problem I've got, any worry I have, and he'll help me to sort it out. That's why it's been so hard with Dad up in space, especially when the main thing I'm worried about is Dad being up in space. Now, at least I've got my own problem for him to sort out. All I needed was for Dad to believe me, and now he'll be able to tell me exactly what to do. First of all, the Hubble Space Telescope stopped working last year, Dad says, so you couldn't have downloaded anything from it, especially not an alien message. I know, but Professor Forster hacked into the telescope. Who's Professor Forster?